Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and this is currently my Manchester United versus Brighton Preview, Old Trafford at the weekend, Saturday, 3 o'clock kickoff, as we all currently know. So we're currently going to be doing my preview of this Manchester United Brighton game. So it's looking a very, very good start so far under Solskjaer, 6 wins out of 6 as I said, 17 goals scored and 3 clean sheets, kept in the process. So it has been a fantastic start, under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. So hopefully, potentially, we should be winning the game on Saturday at home against Brighton of Albion, as we all know. So potentially, as we all know, a bit of team, going into the game. I think Bailly now, Eric Bailly was hardly featured in the squad this season, potentially, I think he's done his 3-match suspension, so he reportedly could be in contention or probably, named on the bench, Eric Bailly. Obviously, Chris Smalling and Rojo are still injured, so potentially they're still recovering from their injuries, so they are potentially a doubt. So it probably will be Lindelof and Phil Jones or Lindelof and Bailly who are going to start in a centre-back position, as we all know. Potentially Pogba and Matic missed training yesterday due to that both of their wives had given birth, but Pogba's still probably in contention to play, and so to his Nemanja Matic. Also to Alexis Sanchez, obviously who's had injury problems, this season, but obviously was injured, with a hamstring injury for a long time, then suffered another injury, came off against Red. Potentially he's confirmed now that Alexis Sanchez is back in training, as we all know, but potentially it's likely he won't be starting and that he will be on the bench, Alexis Sanchez, as we all currently know. But I think he will rotate the squad a little bit probably, but I think he'll probably play a similar team, to how he played against Tottenham, to be quite honest with you. Lindelof and Jones as centre-back partnership. Luke Shaw was obviously our first choice left-back. He'll probably start Luke Shaw at left-back. He'll probably start Ashley Young, at right-back, because obviously Ashley Young is our first choice right-back now, as we all currently know. And he'll probably go in the midfield with Matic, Herrera and Pogba, because we look very, very effective, in that midfield three. And he'll probably go up front, because I don't think Lukaku probably will be starting from the start, because I think he's a player that can make an impact from the bench. And obviously too, Sanchez, obviously he's not going to be starting, I think he'll be on the bench as well. So I think it'll be Martial on the left who creates that width for Rashford in the centre, to be quite honest with you, because Rashford's very, very effective in the centre. As we all know, he'll probably put Lingard on the right, or he may, probably may start Mata on the right. I do not know, but I think it will be a similar team, to what as he went with, against Tottenham. He may do a couple of changes into the team, a little bit, but I think it will probably be a similar team, to what team he played against Tottenham. As we all currently know, I think Brighton are themselves, have got a few injuries as well, but it should be an easy Manchester United win, as I said. But Lukaku, as I did say, he's slow, and he have reservations about him, Romelu Lukaku, to be quite honest, he's a big game bottler. His first touch just concern me, he did score in his last 3 games, before the Tottenham game, to be quite fair, 2 of them from substitutes, but as I did say, I just don't see how he complements our front line, to be quite honest with you, Romelu Lukaku, because you've got Rashford, who's got great pace, you've got Martial, who's got great pace, you've got Lingard that can press higher up the pitch with great pace, and even Sanchez, even he's got pace and he can press high up the pitch. So potentially, I don't see how Lukaku complements our front line. To be quite honest, so I think it will be unlikely that Lukaku, probably will be starting in this game. He'll probably be named on the bench, and probably maybe Lukaku and probably Alexis Sanchez, potentially, will come on. But, when we've got Lukaku in the team, when you've got Fellaini in the team, and I think when, probably when Matt has put in the team, I think it slows us down a little bit, there's not much tempo to his players much, and we don't look that fast, because I just don't think they complement the likes of Rashford, who's got pace, and, Martial, who's got pace. And Juan Mata's a very, very good player. He's a very, very good player, because we've had him here since 2014, and I think he's a very, very good, consistent player. Obviously, we're in talks to still and try and get him a new contract here with Manchester United. He's unsure where he'll be next season. I think Juan Mata, does miss Spain, to be quite honest, because that's where he began his career, with Real Madrid. He risen up the youth system in Madrid. He had 4 good years in Valencia as well when he was young in his prime under Raimi, and he's now been in the Premier League a good 8-9 years, and he's won everything except the Premier League, as a Juan Mata in English football. But I think potentially, I think he's better in an attacking midfield position, to be quite honest with you, because obviously that's Paul Pogba's role, as we all currently know. But Juan Mata, as I did say, he may leave, he may not. But we're obviously in talks with a few players, because I think players, are going to leave Manchester United without a doubt. As I was speaking, earlier on, I do think Darmian's going to be leaving the club, because obviously Luke Shaw's our first choice left back, and Darmian's coming to an end of his contract, and there's been a few Italian teams interested. I think Phil Jones and Chris Smalling will be gone next season, in my opinion. Marcus Rojo. Reports coming out saying that we're preparing to sell Marcus Rojo as well. You know, as I did say to you guys about Antonio Valencia, he's another player. Reportedly, it's confirmed he's going to be staying till the summer, but I think he will be leaving it in the summer, will Antonio Valencia, because obviously he's no longer first choice right back, as obviously Ashley Young is our first choice right back, as we all currently know. But, you know, Valencia's grown and developed over the years, and he has been a good essential right back, but obviously he's made over 300 appearances, he's won everything here, of course, apart from the apart from the Champions League, and he has been here a good 10 years now as Valencia, but obviously Ashley Young is now our first choice right back. But I can see Valencia, you know, going in the summer. Obviously, we're still in talks of getting Ashley Young a new deal at the club as well, and he's been here a good 8-9 years now. He's grown and developed very, very well. But Ashley Young and Valencia are both aged 33 years of age now, as we all currently know. So they are coming to the end of the careers soon, as I said. But potentially, there's still key areas in the squad where we do need to address. You know, I think we need a centre defensive mid that's fast and tenacious. I think we need a strong central defender, as we all know, and we need someone on the right, because as I did say, the majority of our attack is all coming from the left hand side. You know, through Luke Shaw and Pogba and Anthony Martial and all that, and we've obviously still got Herrera coming to an end of his deal. Manchester United have been in talks, you know, of getting Herrera a new contract term at the club as well, and he's been here, you know, since 2014 as well. But I think he'll play a similar lineup, you know, to how he played, you know, against Tottenham to Crown. It's a great start under Solskjaer so far. 6 wins out of 6. He's got the fear factor back. He's got the team motivated. He's put the confidence, you know, back in the team, as we all know. And he knows the culture of the club. He knows the chaplains of the club, because he was a great player for 11 years under the Alex Ferguson era. And I have believed that Solskjaer can elevate us to that, you know, higher level. I think he can get us in that commanding position, you know, where we want to be. Obviously, as this season is to potentially, you know, get in the top 4, as we all know, that's our aim this season. But Arsenal fighting for top 4, Chelsea fighting for top 4, and hopefully next season graduate to a higher level and get us back up there competing for major honours, and, you know, just up there competing with the likes of City and Liverpool and all that. So hopefully, you know, we can do this, and we have spent over £400 million in that team. But I do, as I said, guys, I do think, you know, that we do need to, there's still key areas, you know, where we do need to address in our squad. But potentially it's looking good so far under Solskjaer so far. As I said, people say he's only had a bit of managerial experience. You know, he got relegated with Cardiff, and he won two Norwegian titles with Molde, as we all currently know. And he has been discussing Solskjaer. He'd love the job on a full-time basis at Manchester United. He said it would be hard for him, you know, to leave Manchester United. But obviously Ed Woodward's pleased with his work so far, because he's the first manager to win his first 6 games. So potentially he has beaten Sir Matt Busby's record, as we all currently know. But obviously now I think he's number 1, you know, choice now to get in on a full-time basis. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's number 1 now, so he's the club's favourite to take over on a full-time basis. Solskjaer, he's come out saying that it's unlikely we'll make any signs in this window. He doesn't expect Manchester United to make any signs in this window, as he has confirmed. But I think this team is becoming a replica to what the team achieved and did under Alex Ferguson for 27 good years. And, you know, potentially, you know, we have been playing catch up, you know, for 5 years, as we all currently know. But I think now everything's going to turn around under Solskjaer. He doesn't rest on his laurels. He shows that inspiration, and if he sees a problem, he doesn't rest on his laurels. He fixes it. Does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? And he has confirmed he doesn't expect Man United to make any signings, as he has made clear, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And Solskjaer did actually say he was going to be meeting up with Ed Woodward about this current January transfer window, as we all know. So potentially, yeah, there's a lot of talk, you know, going on in the press, as we all know. But I do think, you know, players are going to be leaving, as they have confirmed to you. I think Fellaini's going to be leaving Manchester United, as that's confirmed. Reportedly, Solskjaer is looking to sanction Marian Fellaini off, reportedly. He's been here since 2013, Marian Fellaini's made over 150 odd appearances. But as I did say, I don't see how he fits in the new regime at Manchester United, and he doesn't complement our midfielder, Marian Fellaini. So I do think, you know, Fellaini will be leaving the club. As I said, Darmian, I think he'll be leaving. Marcus Rojo he'll probably be sold in the summer, more than likely. I think Valencia will probably be leaving in the summer as well. So these players that I think, you know, are going to leave Manchester United, of course, as we all know. But potentially, as I did say, this is Man United Brighton preview. As I said, so Brighton obviously lost the last game at home to Liverpool. In the last 5 games, Brighton have they've got a few injury problems as well. I think they've got a few players out. Drawn 2, won 2, and lost 1 in the last 5 games of Brighton. They're sitting 13th in the league table. Brighton, out of 22 matches so far, I think they've won 7, drawn 5 and lost 10 at Brighton of Albion, obviously under Chris Hughton, as we all currently know. But as I did say, this is at Old Trafford, so potentially we probably will beat them anywhere. But in the last 4 meetings between the two sides, it's been equal. We've won 2, they've won 2, as we all. But obviously we have lost our last 2 visits, to the Amex Stadium. But this one's at Old Trafford. But in our last, 2 visits to the Amex Stadium, Brighton have beaten us. We lost 3-2 early on this season. We lost 1-0 last season as well. So in our last 2 visits to the Amex, we have suffered, defeats. As we all currently know. But, we beat them, in the last 2 games at Old Trafford, as we all know, Brighton of Albion as well. But there's a few statistics, going into this game. Manchester United, it says here, Man United have never lost a home match against Brighton in all competitions, won 8 and drawn 2. Winning the last 4 in a row without conceding. Brighton have won their last 2 games against Manchester United, both in the Premier League, having won just one of their previous 18 against them in all competitions. Drawn 5, lost 12. Man United are looking to score at least 3 goals in 4 consecutive home league games for the first time since September 2011. Brighton have lost all of their 8 Premier League away games against the big 6 sides, with their only goal in those games coming at Manchester City in May 2018. We are looking to secure 6 consecutive Premier League victories for the first time since January 2017. Man United have kept back-to-back clean sheets in the Premier League, having kept just 2 in their first 20 league games of 2018-19. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is looking to become the first ever manager to win their first 6 league games in charge of Manchester United. Well, we have won 6, haven't we? So he has broken Matt Busby's record, but obviously not in the league, because potentially we've won 5 in the league, and obviously we've won 1 in the FA Cup as well, as we all know. So potentially, yeah, he'd definitely beaten Matt Busby's record if we beat Brighton, because that's 6 league wins out of 6. But if you wanted to count the FA Cup result as well, as it stands now, you could say he's beaten Matt Busby's record, as I currently said. But the first ever man to win their first 6 league games in charge of Manchester United since winning 3-2 at Man City on the final day of the 2012-2013 season with Norwich. Brighton manager Chris Hughton has lost his last 14 away matches against the Big 6 in all competitions by an aggregate score of 3-41, so that's a bad record. Man United's Paul Pogba scored twice in his last 2 Premier League games at Old Trafford. Cristiano Ronaldo is the only player to score at least twice in 3 consecutive home games for the club in the competition, doing so in November 2008. Marcus Rashford could make his 150 appearance for Manchester United in all competitions in this match. He's scored more goals than any other player for the club since his debut. That's 40. So yeah, so there's some statistics, to update you on going into the game, as I said. So it's essentially saying Marcus Rashford now has made 149 appearances in all competitions. But if he features in this match, which I think is definitely going to be, it will be his 150 appearance for the club, Marcus Rashford, and that's good for the 21-year-old, very, very young in his prime, still got years to grow and develop more, and I think he's comparing himself now to Mbappe. I think he's as good as Mbappe. Rashford's got good pace, Kylian Mbappe, has got good pace, as we all currently know. But I think Rashford will potentially, I think he's as good as him, to be quite honest with you. But he's 21 years of age. He's got a great pedigree of scoring on his debut, Marcus Rashford. You can actually operate him on the left, but I just think he looks more effective, centrally, does Marcus Rashford, to be quite honest with you. But this should be an easy Manchester United win, against Brighton, as we all know. We know there's going to be a tough game after that Brighton game, because it's Arsenal away at the Emirates in the FA Cup, which is going to be a difficult game, as I currently said. So there's Manchester United Brighton preview. So now we'll potentially go into some rumours, as I currently said. So reports have been coming out today, as I updated you on my video earlier on. So reports have been coming out today that reportedly Man United, as I updated you, as I said earlier on in the video, Man United are reportedly looking to sanction Marcus Rojo off in our way to get the pursuit of Koulibaly. So reportedly we're looking to sanction Marcus Rojo off. It's likely we'll probably sanction him off in the summer instead of this January transfer window, because Rojo has had a difficult time, since he's been at the club, because potentially he's been struggling to get a run of games under his belt, and he's been struggling to keep fit. He's had a lot of injury problems. He's injured now at this moment in time. He's Marcus Rojo, and obviously he's used there as a backup option because his versatility at the back is very, very good. And it was obviously the same back in 2017, Was it against Anderlecht? Was it in the Europa League? I can remember rightly. Marcus Rojo suffered a bad injury then, and obviously in that game as well, Zlatan Ibrahimovic at the time we had him, he suffered a very, very bad injury in that game as well. So potentially Rojo, I think it will be sold. It probably will likely be in the summer, to be quite honest with you, as we all know. So potentially we're looking to sanction Rojo off to get Koulibaly into the club. It's in the People's Persons report. Reportedly we're willing to make our way for Koulibaly by sanctioning Marcus Rojo off. But as I said to you earlier on, when I did my previous video, about Koulibaly. We know he's been heavily linked with a move to Old Trafford. We know potentially it's Ed Woodward's #1 choice, as we all know. Well, it's the club's main target, to get in is Koulibaly. Reports from Italy have been stemming, the Italian press have reported that Koulibaly's been linked to a move, but the Italian press have reportedly said that Koulibaly, from his perspective, he does want to leave Napoli, and he's feeling unhappy now in Italy, is Koulibaly. So if we're potentially willing to make any other offer, he may consider, incoming Koulibaly, as we all know. But from Napoli's perspective, the Napoli president has confirmed they're not willing to do any business in this January transfer window, as they currently have confirmed. Because so far in the process, we have had 3 bids turned down for the player. The recent one was £95 million, and I think he'd be a good leader in our back line, and I think he'd look good if you put him alongside Victor Lindelof and all that, and Eric Bailly and all that. He'd look very good. He'd look very good. Koulibaly, as we all know, he still has got a contract with Napoli, of course, until 2023 as the player, and he adapts to his game very well. Got a lot of tenacity, very good in the air. He'd be a major signing for us, and we know it will cost us in the excess of over £100 million. There's still some reports suggesting now a deal is likely, to happen in the summer. To be quite honest with you, but reportedly we're looking to sanction Rojo off to get some space in that defensive area. So, and then obviously sell him off Rojo, and then go get Koulibaly, as a replacement for Marcus Rojo, as we all currently know. But he's unhappy in Italy, as we all know. He's very unhappy. I think most of it is due. I think the majority of it is due to that racial abuse, he suffered last year back in December, and now I think he does want to leave Napoli. Does Koulibaly, and he's one of the best, players in the world in his current position. As I said, he's Koulibaly. He's one of the greatest players, in Europe. Is a player, as we all know. And I think he's 6'5" as well, Koulibaly. So potentially, he is very tall as well. So it would be a great sign, if we did get him on the board. As I said, and I also think that Phil Jones, as I did say, and Chris Smalling, will be gone next season as well. So we definitely, need a strong central defender. And obviously, Koulibaly is the #1 target. We know potentially we've had other options as well, as I did currently say. I was going to mention a lot more to you on my last video, but obviously I didn't have good connection, and I didn't have any Wi-Fi connection, so I had to use my data that I've got on me now. So I'll explain a bit more on this video now. And potentially, we know we've been linked with Eddie Militao. He's been another potential Manchester United target. Very young. As I said, he's only 20 years of age. As I said, he's very young. As I said, he's only 20. Is this Eddie Militao? Reportedly, a few teams have expressed their interest in Eddie Militao. As we all currently know, he's a Porto player. He's Brazilian. As I said, he's only been at Porto since last summer. Is this Eddie Militao? As we all know, he's only been at Porto since last summer, and reportedly his performances this season have been very good indeed, and potentially his performances have been very good in the Portuguese league, and his performances in the Champions League have reportedly been very good as well. This Eddie Militao's, and his versatility is very good because he can play as a full back, a centre back, and a defensive midfielder. But I think he's predominantly a right back. To be quite honest with you, is Eddie Militao. So he would be an okay signing. Don't really know much about him. I know he's got 4 years left on his contract, and he's got a 40-odd million release clause in it, as this Eddie Militao. As we all currently know. But yeah, we have been linked to him, and we know there's still reports coming out, about, potentially who else we're being linked with. We're being linked with Toby Alderweireld, and I said I'd have reservations if we got Toby Alderweireld. I think he needs to adjust his game a little bit more, in my opinion. These areas of his game that he does need to adapt more. He's 29 years of age, so he is aging up now, Alderweireld, and obviously we have been linked to him. He's proven in the Premier League, and I think, he would be a good leader, in our back line, to be quite fair. Tottenham have extended his current contract till 2020, so he does have a release clause for £25 million for the summer, does Toby Alderweireld, but he's been a potential another Manchester United target, as we all know, as Alderweireld. And, potentially Milan Skriniar, but, Milan Skriniar now looks very unlikely. Obviously, the Inter Milan boss has confirmed about Milan Skriniar that it looks like he's going to be going. It looks like he's going to be staying. Sorry, Milan Skriniar, because the Inter Milan boss has confirmed that potentially nobody can afford Milan Skriniar. Obviously, we've been interested in him. Potentially, has been one of Ed Woodward's targets as well. Is Milan Skriniar, and he's Slovakian. He's only 23 years of age, so potentially he's 4 years younger than Koulibaly, because Koulibaly is 27. He's nowhere near on the same calibre or same level as Koulibaly, but he's only 23 years of age, so he does need to grow and develop more, does Milan Skriniar. He's Slovakian, and reportedly his performances for Inter Milan have been very, very impressive, you know, since he's been there. I still think he's got 3 years left on his deal as Milan Skriniar. You know, to be quite honest with you, but we've also, you know, been linked with him as well. So potentially rumours have been coming out in the media, as we all know, guys, as well, about potentially Douglas Costa, because obviously we've previously been linked with Douglas Costa from Juventus, because obviously since Ronaldo's joined Juventus, he's fallen down the pecking order as Douglas Costa. But potentially the Italian press reported that reportedly we are still interested in Douglas Costa, because last year, well, the rumours haven't come, you know, that much, you know, since Mourinho was sacked. You know, we haven't heard a lot about Douglas Costa, but there's a couple of rumours that have been coming out in the last couple of days, you know, from Sky Sports, you know, suggesting that the Italian press reported that we're still interested in him. There were talks of Paul Pogba and Douglas Costa as a potential swap deal, so they said Man United were interested in swapping Pogba for Douglas Costa. For Douglas Costa, but as I did say, you know, Douglas Costa, he reportedly said we put a £54 million bid in for him, was it last year? Obviously when we had Jose Mourinho, reportedly this got turned down, this £54 million bid, but there's still rumours going on about it. I don't think it'll happen anyway, but Douglas Costa's a very, very good player. He's highly experienced, as I said. He's 28 years of age, he can cross a ball, he can provide, and he can score goals, and I think he's versatile. He can play on each flank, Douglas Costa, as we all know, and he was very, very good when he was young in his prime, because he had a couple of good years with Bayern Munich. He had 5 good years with Shakhtar Donetsk, and you know, he began his youth career with Grimero, you know, when he was a lot younger in his prime. As I said, I think he can actually operate as an attacking midfielder as well, can Douglas Costa. Obviously Juventus triggered his 36 million release clause to get him on a permanent deal, because I think he was on loan with Juventus, was he, last season or something like that, and actually won the domestic double in his first season, did Douglas Costa, as we all know. But there has obviously been rumours going on about that in the last couple of days. So the Italian press have reported that we're still interested, but I think potentially Juventus are not willing to name a price tag until the summer, reportedly, as that as confirmed in Sky Sports. Reportedly, we've heard the rumours about Philippe Coutinho as well, that still keep coming around in the media. We know the news still keeps floating around about Philippe Coutinho. Potentially, we know he actually has been linked with a move to Old Trafford as Philippe Coutinho, because I think if he was to come in, I think he'd be a great addition, you know, to our squad, to be quite honest with you, you know. Coutinho, and he hasn't made the impact at Barcelona as he did do at Liverpool, because he had 5 great years with Liverpool. He grew and developed, and he flourished in the Liverpool team, and he provided, and he scored goals, but he hasn't really made that impact, you know, at Barcelona. He's only been at Barcelona a year, and potentially Barcelona have obviously preferred Ousmane Dembele, obviously, to Philippe Coutinho, as we all know. But Philippe Coutinho is out of favour at the moment at Barcelona, as we all know. Manchester United have been in talks with Barcelona. Man United I think have actually approached Coutinho's representatives over this. Obviously, it will cost us in the access of around probably at least £100 million or more, you know, to get Coutinho in. But I think a deal is unlikely to happen in this January transfer window, as we all currently know. But I think from Coutinho's perspective, he hasn't really said much about it. But I think obviously he hasn't been getting the game time recently, and he's been lacking, you know, that game time that he currently wants under his belt. He hasn't been getting a lot of game time. But if this is persistent and this continues, you know, then he may consider leaving Barcelona and probably making a move to Old Trafford or wherever, because a few teams have been interested in him. As we all know, obviously, Barcelona paid £142 million for him, so potentially he's the 3rd most expensive player in the world. Is Coutinho. He's only been there a year, as we all know, and I think he's got a long contract with them. He's done a year of his contract at the moment, but he's versatile. He can operate as attacking mid, and he can play as a second striker, and he can play on each wing as well. I think his actual favourite position, you know, is the attacking midfield role. You know, Coutinho, to be quite honest, would be a great addition, you know, to our squad. He's 26 years of age, so we'll still get a lot of years out of him. And obviously, he's Premier League proven as well, is Philippe Coutinho, because he had 5 great years with Liverpool at Anfield, and then he's actually played, you know, under Mauricio Pochettino in the past as a Coutinho, when obviously he was on loan with Espanyol, on that loan spell he had with Espanyol, and you know, potentially, I think he actually began his senior career with Inter Milan, did Philippe Coutinho, but Liverpool only paid, £8.5 million for him. But there is still rumours about that going on in the press as well. But I think from Barcelona's perspective, they still feel as though Coutinho's got a future with Barcelona. But if this continues with him not getting enough game time, then, you know, Coutinho may leave Barcelona. You know, to be quite honest with you, but we know there's been rumours going on about it, that Manchester United have been interested in him. Wait there, guys, a minute. that we potentially, been interested in him, as we all currently know. But obviously, Koulibaly is our #1 target. We're looking to sell we're looking to sanction Marcos Rojo off reportedly to make our way for Koulibaly. So do you think potentially we could still somehow get a deal over the line for Koulibaly in this January transfer window? Well, I do hope so, as I currently said as well. And as I did update you earlier on, didn't I, guys? I give you a bit of Chelsea's transfer rumours of what was going on with Chelsea, as I currently said. So potentially it has been announced today, as I updated you earlier on my video. Obviously, Sarri is looking to bolster his squad up, as we all know. But potentially now Chelsea have completed, the signing of Gonzalo Higuain. It has been officially completed. Reportedly, he could be making his Premier League debut for Chelsea against Arsenal this weekend. Reportedly, Gonzalo Higuain. Some pundits and some people believe he may become a flop, for Chelsea. He's obviously never played in the Premier League, but obviously Gonzalo Higuain, it confirmed just that Chelsea agreed a loan deal with Juventus for Gonzalo Higuain. So potentially Chelsea agreed Gonzalo Higuain. Chelsea have agreed a Gonzalo Higuain loan deal with Juventus. So now it has been confirmed. Chelsea are going to be getting Gonzalo Higuain on a 6-month loan, as that has confirmed. A 6-month loan, as it has confirmed. But Chelsea do have the option to make the deal permanent in the summer, which probably would cost Chelsea around £32 million permanently in the summer. But reportedly, it did say the loan could be extended for a further 12 months, depending on the appearances and, the goals he scores, through 6 months, with Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. But it obviously was clear that Gonzalo Higuain did want to make the move to Chelsea. He handed in the transfer request. He told AC Milan he wanted to make the move to Chelsea, as we all know. But Chelsea were finding it difficult, to negotiate with Juventus over this, because Chelsea negotiations with Juventus and AC Milan over this, as we all know. We know potentially Higuain's agent and his brother were in London to negotiate. Was it last week at some point? I think it was last week at some point. His agent and his brother had been in London to negotiate about it. But potentially, we know Chelsea were inquiring. They're inquiring about getting him on a loan deal, but now it has been officially completed. But obviously, we know the Chelsea board and the Chelsea directors do have strong reservations, about this. Reportedly, they do have strong reservations about this, the Chelsea board and the Chelsea director, considering that Gonzalo Higuain is age 31 and is out of his prime, and the Chelsea director and board have reservations about probably playing that amount of money, for the player, that's in his 30s. And, he's a proven goal scorer. Didn't do so well at AC Milan, to be quite honest, because AC Milan got him for £16 million initially on loan, but then AC Milan had the option to make the deal permanent in the summer for around £30 million, was it, something like that. But obviously, he was going to be making the move to Chelsea, because reports saying it were close, and obviously yesterday he was dropped out of AC Milan's starting 11 for their game against Juventus. I think, was it in the Italian Cup or something like that? Juventus won 1-0, but I think he did come on as a substitute, Gonzalo Higuain, in that game. But obviously that is his farewell. That is his farewell appearance for AC Milan, as well. But it would be good for him to experience the Premier League. In my opinion, I think he'll do very, very well. I think he'll lead the lines very, very well. He'll guarantee Chelsea goals, and he's a proven goal scorer. I know he didn't find the form or consistency at AC Milan, but obviously now I think he'll fit in the Chelsea team very, very well, and he knows Sarri. He's obviously now reuniting with Sarri. He's Gonzalo Higuain, as we all currently know. Now, obviously, recently Eden Hazard has been playing in the false number 9 position in the Premier League recently, but now obviously now they've got Gonzalo Higuain in. Obviously Eden Hazard will be put back to his favourite position on the current left hand side, as we all currently know. But if you check my video out this morning, I did confirm that Chelsea have got Higuain on loan until the end of the season, but reportedly could be extended for a further 12 months. He's a good player, Higuain. He was very, very good when he was young in his prime. He had 6 good years with Real Madrid, and then he scored like 107 goals in 190 appearances for Real Madrid, and then he had 3 good years with Napoli, scored 36 goals in one season with Napoli. He had 2 good years when he was at Juventus as well. So he's a proven prolific goal scorer, and I think in his playing career he scored over 200 odd goals in just under 600 appearances, or something like that, all in his playing career, Gonzalo Higuain. So potentially, Chelsea will hope he'll have to hit the ground running. As we all know, he's 31 years of age, and this does concern the Chelsea directors and the Chelsea board, because they the Chelsea director and board, obviously, their policy is to give, they only give players, 12-month contracts that are 30 or over the age of 30, reportedly, as we all know. But we'll see what happens and see, how he establishes himself, in the Chelsea team, Gonzalo Higuain, because Sarri will be pleased about it, because obviously it was Sarri's number one main priority target, to get in at Stamford Bridge. And obviously now this means Morata's going to be going. Obviously, the latest news I've heard about Alvaro Morata, to update you guys, because obviously he's unsettled at Chelsea, as we all know. He's no longer Sarri's number one choice, as we all know, Morata now, and he's falling down the pecking order, big time, as we all know, Morata, and he hasn't made the impact in the Premier League, he hasn't made the impact, as he did at Real Madrid, when he was young in his prime, and, he did very, very well at Real Madrid when he was young in his prime, because he spent, the majority of his playing career with Real Madrid, and he had 2 good years, in Italy, with Juventus as well, did Morata. Chelsea paid £60 million for him in 2017, but to be quite honest with you, he hasn't really lived to expectations at Stamford Bridge, to be quite honest with you, as Alvaro Morata. But we know now they've got Gonzalo Higuain in. They was targeting that Higuain Chelsea as a replacement for Morata. So now Morata will potentially, be leaving Stamford Bridge. But as I did tell you, there's been a host of clubs that have been interested in Morata. As we all know, as I did say, Barcelona have inquired, Bayern Munich have inquired, and Sevilla have inquired, AC Milan and all that have inquired. And the latest team to be interested, though, is Atletico Madrid. And we know potentially Morata in talks with Atletico Madrid, and Chelsea, Atletico Madrid are in talks to get Alvaro Morata. As we all know, but potentially the Sevilla were very, very interested in the Sevilla. Morata's agent was in discussion with the Sevilla representatives the other week, as I did update you. But reportedly now, Sevilla have actually opted out of the race and they've dropped their interest, because the Sevilla directors confirmed that Chelsea's financial demands are impossible to meet. Sevilla have dropped out of the race now. So now potentially it's looking likely that he's going to be joining Atletico Madrid. Maybe his wage could be a problem, maybe with him going to Atletico Madrid. But reportedly, from Morata's perspective, he's willing to take a pay cut, to join Atletico Madrid, as we all currently know. Maybe Atletico Madrid may have to offload someone, to get Morata in the team, as we all currently know. But that's the latest I've heard about that. And reports coming out saying yesterday that Atletico Madrid are willing to offer 2 of their players, to get Alvaro Morata. Chelsea have actually at one point were keen on sanctioning him off on loan, but I think now they want to find a permanent buyer that will take Morata on a permanent deal, as we all currently know, because he's unfavoured at Stamford Bridge, as I currently said. But there's been, quite a few teams, interested in him, as we all currently know. He's on about £8 or £9 million per year with Chelsea, as I said. So maybe his wage, could be a problem in this. Maybe his wage could be a problem, as I currently said. But so it looks like Morata's going to be leaving, and I think Chelsea are going to see other players leave. As I did say to you about Batshuayi, however you pronounce his name, Batshuayi. I think he's going to be going to Monaco on loan. The last I heard about that. David Luiz, obviously, contract term is up in the summer, as we all know as well. So I do potentially think David Luiz could leave, even though Chelsea have been talks to get him a contract extension. Gary Cahill, he's been linked with a move to Fulham, so I potentially think, Gary Cahill, could be leaving as well. Obviously, Chelsea, obviously, are still on the board. Obviously, Chelsea still, and Sarri, still wants a replacement for Cesc Fabregas, because obviously Cesc Fabregas has left now, as we all know. And I think, Callum Hudson could be leaving, because Callum Hudson has been heavily linked with a move to Bayern Munich, as we all know. But talks about, obviously Fabregas has left now, he's joined Monaco on a 3.5-year deal, as we all know. So potentially Chelsea have been linked with 2 players, to replace Cesc Fabregas. That's Nicola Barella, aged 21 years of age, plays for Cagliari, very young in his prime, and he's Italian, as we all know. But reportedly, Nicola Barella is reluctant to leave Cagliari midway through the season. So reportedly now it's looking very, very likely. Well, actually, the Telegraph had reported the other week that Chelsea had agreed deals for both, the duo of Leandro Paredes and Nicola Barella, reportedly. But now Nicola Barella looks unlikely. But reportedly, Chelsea could be on the verge of signing Leandro Paredes, as we all know. As I said, he's age 24. He's Argentinian. I think he has actually committed. He's actually, he is convinced that he does want to leave Russia. Is this, Leandro Paredes? As I did say, he's 24. He's obviously more experienced than Nicola Barella, as we all know. So potentially he may be Chelsea's first choice over Nicola Barella because he's 24 years of age. He's this Leandro Paredes. And reportedly, the last I heard by Chelsea have not yet agreed a fee with Zenit St. Petersburg. Zenit St. Petersburg are demanding that they want around £36 million for the player. Reportedly, I think Chelsea have had one bid turned down of just under 30 million. I think Chelsea have reportedly come in with a second bid, but it still hasn't met, you know, what they're demanding. And it's St. Petersburg. I think Chelsea have come up with a bid of just over 30 million. I think it's £31 million or something like that. Don't really know much about this Leandro Paredes, to be quite honest with you, but I know Chelsea have been in heavy negotiations with Zenit St. Petersburg over this. But I think he's keen on making the move to Stamford Bridge. He is only 24 years of age, but reportedly personal terms have been agreed. Chelsea have agreed personal terms to the player. Reportedly a contract has been agreed, but as yet a fee has still not been agreed, and I think more talks are going on to try and come to an agreement with a fee. But yeah, as I did say, Chelsea are willing to give him around £80,000 a week, give him a 4.5-year contract, as I said, and about 4.5 million per year, or something like that. But he's a Zenit St. Petersburg player. He's an ex-Roma player. Zenit actually bought him for £24 million from Roma, as I said. He's obviously played for Employee on loan in the past, and he's played for you know, Chevio as well. He actually began his career with Boca Juniors, you know, his youth career, obviously, you know, when he was a lot younger in his prime as well, the player. But Chelsea's still in more negotiations to get a deal, agree a fee, you know, for Leandro Paredes, as we all know. So essentially he's Chelsea's number one, you know, to replace Cesc Fabregas in that midfield, because Chelsea got Jorginho and Kepa last summer, as we all know. Potentially, I think they paid a world record fee for Kepa, the goalkeeper, around 72 million. You know, they got Jorginho, £57 million from Napoli. But as I did say to you guys, you know, as we all know, potentially even Savi's come out and admitted that, you know, he will struggle. Jorginho's struggling, and he will struggle, you know, if they don't get a replacement for Cesc Fabregas. But it's looking likely they'll get a deal over this line for this Leandro Paredes, as we all know. Zenit St. Petersburg have made it clear they want around £36 million as they have confirmed as well. So that's mainly, you know, Chelsea's news to update you with. That's mainly Chelsea's news to update you with. As I currently said, Sancho, as I did say with Callum Hudson, he's been heavily linked with a move to Bayern Munich. He's got 18 months left on his contract. As we all know, there's been no sign of him as yet signing a new contract. He's 18. He hasn't really been getting the opportunities in the Premier League, you know, this season, as Callum Hudson, as I said. So essentially, he's been heavily linked with a move to Munich, because Bayern Munich have got quite a few aging up players in their squad, and they're looking to get some young players in their squad at Bayern Munich, as we all know. And they have been strongly linked with Callum Hudson, as I said. But I think Callum Hudson does actually want to make the move. Bayern Munich have been in negotiations with Chelsea over this, as we all currently know. So I think he could be potentially, you know, leaving Chelsea as well. And obviously, you know, he could fall down the pecking order even more when Pulisic as well. So that's mainly, you know, Chelsea's news to update you with, as I said. So essentially that's really it. And obviously this is my Manchester United Brighton preview as well. Obviously, as I did say to you, there will be more videos coming up very, very soon. We'll give you probably a bit of an update of what's going on with Arsenal's transfer rumours very, very soon, as I said. So anyway, take care. God bless, guys, and I'll see you all again on my next video, guys. Bye.